Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to the second week of February. This week we are going to be working on our technical description skills, which is very exciting, and we get to do a peer review. Woohoo! Yay for feedback from our classmates. So for our technical description assignment, you are going to be building on skills you've already honed here. For assignment instructions, we're going to go to that website again. That's been built to help you know everything you need to know for each of the assignments. So for the guidelines, you are going to be writing 3 to 4 pages, double spaced, and including some figures in this assignment. So a line graph, a pie chart, bar graphs, photography, whatever you think best fits your topic. And then, of course, all of our photos need to have a title, a caption, need to be formatted in that APA style, which you'll find both in Markle's book and in a link I will provide in the announcements for you. Your technical description paper needs to have the following features, and I've got those in a bullet pointed list for you here. At least one 3-point formal definition, which you've already demonstrated your skills in past assignments. That's that 3-part where you talk about the category, you talk about the distinguishing features. You remember, yes, we talked about tumbleweeds. It was exciting. A precise title, and then correct documentation of sources. This needs to be an APA style. I've linked for you resources here. They're also in the back of the Markle textbook as well. And then we've got a sample for you here because sometimes it helps to just see how someone else completed an assignment. So if you take a look at this shaker screen document, this particular student decided to write technical description on a shaker screen, which is something you use like in an archaeological dig. That was a hard word. An archaeological dig to sort through all the dirt and try and find the essential interesting things that might be hiding there. So your general description is where you're going to be putting that 3-part definition. Show the shaker screen is a manually operated portable device used by archaeologists to separate the remains of past cultures from the soil in which they are embedded. So category, distinguishing features, all of those details are included in this first sentence of the technical document. Then we build on that a little bit more, just like you built a paragraph of description in not last week, but the week before's assignment. You're going to be building a paragraph of general description here. Then you're going to break that item down into manageable pieces. So we're going to talk about the different elements of the shaker screen, the first of which is a screen box, which I'm going to define for you. And then I'm going to include an image here. You'll note that this image is formatted in APA style with a figure number and then a short informational sentence that tells you what's happening in the figure. The figure is clearly labeled, and because I created this label, I don't need to cite it. However, if this is something I found online, I would need to include an APA formatted citation here at the end of this dialogue. Then I go on and talk about the next thing I wanted to. So I've got the shaker screen box I talk about the legs of the apparatus, and I've given a picture of the legs here that I also drew, so it doesn't have a citation. And then I talk about the handles, and then I talk about how the thing operates. And I did take this picture from a site, so I am citing that here. I didn't go to an archaeological place in Egypt and take a picture, right? I got it on Google. So I'm going to cite that here, but once again, I'm going to call it figure 3. I'm going to say what's talked about, and then I'm going to cite it for you here. And then I include my references down here at the bottom. So lots of really good examples for you as you're thinking about creating your technical document. The other thing I want to point out here is that the more simple of a topic you pick, the better for this sort of thing. So like if I wanted to talk about a measuring tape, this would be a great thing to write a technical document on because it doesn't have very many moving pieces. This is something I could do reasonably in a couple sentences. If I wanted to do something more complicated, like how a cell phone works, that would be a whole book, right? So much easier to pick something small, something fairly simple. You could do a pen. You could talk about your favorite travel mug. You know, there are a lot of things you could talk about that are pretty simple, and you'll find you will fill 4 pages as you break them down into their smaller pieces. Here are some examples. I talked about really pick something simple. It's going to help you out so much because if you pick something really complex, the paper is going to get so long. So these may seem like kind of dumb things because you're like, what? That's super simple. But really simple is good for this assignment. You can see that even if you did a pencil, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are 5 elements of the pencil. You would need to write a paragraph for each of those 5 elements. So you can see how it would get to 3 to 5 pages pretty quickly, right? If you're in the medical profession, you could pick a tool that's pretty simple. I've had people do some of their makeup equipment, like a special brush they use to apply makeup. That worked really well. People have talked about really anything. I feel like folks oftentimes just look around their workstation, like in front of their computer, and they're like, oh, what's around me? I see a mug. And then they decide to write about the mug. And that works too. You just want something simple. And here are some different ways you can approach it. We want to talk about shape, size, color, texture, position, all that good stuff to help you really get to the details here. And then we do want to avoid plagiarism. It's very easy for this kind of thing to kind of rely too much on Wikipedia or websites like How Stuff Works. But we really want this to be your brain working here, your observational skills, your ability to describe detail. So use your own words, use your own brain. If you do need to use outside sources, they must be cited in APA style, both in the references and in the body of the text. All of our assignments will be submitted through Turnitin software, which will check the internet for places where things have been copied and pasted or where words match exactly another place on the internet. So do make sure that you are using your own brains for this. You can take your own photos, which can be very helpful. For instance, if I was using my measuring tape here, I could take a picture of the measuring tape extended and talk about this little guy and this little holdy tip thing here. Clearly, I know all the technical terms. I could take a picture of the base here. I could take a picture of the clip and the retraction button. There are lots of things I could take pictures of and then weave into my narrative. I've got some examples for you here, as well as example source citations. And I have several examples, so you can kind of see how things will work. And then just ignore this 5th one here. We are going to be doing our peer review in the discussion boards. This website was built when I had in-person classes, so ignore tab 5, ignore this little required peer review here, ignore that. We will be doing it in the discussion boards instead. So that's an overview of your technical description document. We've got a template here to help you out and a lesson you can view there. I also have helpful information for you in the modules tab. If you scroll down through our folders, you can see that we have, where'd it go? Technical description paper. There's our folder. So we've got a PowerPoint. I've got a template for you here. I did a sample using a baseball cap. That's fun. We can break that down into manageable pieces. And then I've got some more samples as well. A recorded lecture with really detailed instructions I highly, highly, highly recommend you watch, and information on how to incorporate images into your paper, and a citation generator for digital images as well. So lots of really helpful things for you listed here. I highly recommend you at least watch the recorded lecture on the instructions to make sure you've got all those checkboxes marked before you get too deep into the assignment. And that's what we'll be spending most of our week on, is building that technical description assignment. So please view that PowerPoint lecture video and get to work on finding something you think you can describe in great detail. As always, if you have any questions, just reach out. I'm here to help. Have a great week, guys.